Great.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's Zoom. I am not in Henderson or Lincoln. I am at St. Labori, is it K through 8, in part of Grand Island Northwest feeder schools, talking to them exactly about what I'm going to talk about today, which is just kind of entrepreneurship, startups, business, innovation, and using social media to amplify those things, and really have been thinking about this all fall. We are trying to think about what do these Zoom sessions look like moving forward, and wanted to use the rest of the Zoom sessions for the rest of the semester to kind of share this idea around this StrivU kind of class, innovations class, that we can maybe implement next fall if you have that opportunity, and really an extension to the media and digital media production and moving beyond streaming into more of, hey, do you have something you're passionate about? Maybe it's a business or a project you want to work on. How can you use digital media to promote those things? And so giving students the freedom to be able to go out and create that, kind of the genius hour type of model a little bit. And so one of the things we want to do is help share our story, how we built Strive and what we're doing with Class Intercom and the other businesses I've started, and really foster a culture around that, and seeing if we can use technology like Zoom to be able to execute that. So this is a test, just to kind of throw the theory, throw the crazy idea out to you guys that are watching the recording. And Andy, would love your feedback on that too as you teach. And so what I just got done doing here, the last two schools at Cedar Hollow and now St. Labori, is talking to students about entrepreneurship, my journey, and then flipping it on them. What are you guys doing? Do you have a lawn mowing business, or do you babysit? What are some things that you're doing that you're generating income, and how are you being an entrepreneur? What ideas do you have that you could maybe use social media to share those things and innovate? Maybe it's a local project. You want to revamp a building downtown that's vacant. Or maybe it's a coffee shop that you want to open up at your school. Just really creating that culture around innovation that you could do inside your school, and see if we can execute that in a class format, and really teach kids how to serve, how to take advantage of opportunities, and network. Something I'm very passionate about, and that I'm realizing as I'm talking to these kids, is they don't know how to network. And Sarah can share how she's learning that too, right? And she's gotten some neat opportunities to connect as a Wesleyan grad, and just connecting the dots, and always knowing every person you meet leads to another person. And that's a perfect example of how Strive has been built, Class Intercom, how we did Heartland Beat back in the day when we started that, and just it's all building blocks and teaching students those skills. Because entrepreneurship, there is no really curriculum around it. All we can do is share what we've done and encourage others to try to do the same thing around their passions. And I told kids this today, that if you would ask me at 6th, 7th, or 8th grade that I would be doing this now, this didn't even exist when I was that age. The internet was just coming about. The internet is still young and building and growing, but we've built these companies on top of the internet, which is exciting. And now we have social media to be able to connect with people across the world, and use hashtags like StealEDU, or use Twitter to connect with people, which is how we're building Class Intercom, and how we've built Strive, even just in Nebraska, and teaching kids those things, and to be able to collaborate with each other, build a team. We've got two of my folks on our team in Lincoln, Sarah and Austin, and building a company that we don't have to be face-to-face all the time, there are challenges to that. But there's also advantages too, to be able to give them the flexibility to work remotely, but we can do it through technology like this. And so can we foster that same type of atmosphere in our schools is what we're trying to figure out, and just explore and get feedback from students, and really just be a resource for kids to be able to say, hey, I've got this idea, and can you help me? And how can I network with other people and just help them connect the dots? That's what Sarah's passionate about, is being a life coach for these kids, and just like, okay, you're passionate about this, I know this person, and that's just comes natural to me. And I believe it's a skill that is acquired for kids, because kids in junior high and high school, that just doesn't come naturally to them. I think that's something that you develop as you get older, in how to really connect those dots, and just always be asking questions. So I wanted to throw this out. So this is a student that was just at St. Labori here, and him and his dad have started a lawn mowing service, snow blowing business. And so we talked about So he's doing it. The school has used him to fix their snowblower last week. And, he's one of those kids that probably could make more money than a lot of us running this little service business, and probably would get more value out of being outside of the school than inside the school. And that kind of stinks to say that, because we want kids in school to learn that, and that model does not work for everyone, and not all kids are like that. But I fully believe that the future of school is really going to be outside the walls of school, and learning and networking and finding mentors around your passions. So this is with his dad and his grandpa, and now he's trying to figure out to get a website, build a Facebook page. And so I talked to the ladies in the room that are babysitters. Sarah, did you babysit when you were younger? Yep. So you can make some good money. So I went around the room and I asked all the girls, how much do you charge per hour? And they kind of smiled. They're like $10 an hour. A girl made $14 an hour, or $50 a day. They're entrepreneurs. They're building a little business. So I said, you should take a selfie and put 3 things about yourself and have your mom share that on Facebook. And so all her friends could see that her daughter wants to babysit for the summer, and you could build up a business or get a bunch of friends and take them to the pool and really build a business out of this, and utilize your parents' network on Facebook, or they could put it on their Instagram if they're of age, and really just promote what they're doing. And I asked them, what's the biggest thing that you're trying to not convince parents, but show parents? And they said responsibility, safety, things like that. And a kid in the back, and I didn't follow up with him, I just remembered, he said trust. And that's exactly what's happening when you're babysitting, right? Andy, you can probably speak to this unless your kids are old enough, but you want to trust this babysitter that's going to be with your kids, your children, who you created, to take care of them, feed them, put them to bed, all those things, and you're paying them for that. And so as a kid, how can you convince that parent that they are going to trust you, and how can you use social media to do that? And that could be a project for the class. Like, I want to build up my portfolio of babysitting. And those are the types of things that kids just maybe don't think about. We had a kid that does stop motion Lego stuff and has his own YouTube channel. And I asked the group of kids, it's about 40 kids, I said, how many of you in the room knew that he did that? And no one knew, because he hadn't told anybody, right? And so I said, you need to start talking to other kids about it. Maybe there's another kid that does the same thing. You guys could collaborate, promote your channels together, and expand and do different stuff other than Legos. You could do stop motion with clay or whatever, but you gotta get that out to show people the stuff you're creating. And I've got Ben here. I don't know if you guys met Ben from York here. He's documenting my day, and so he's putting my vlog together today. And he's in high school, and he's a creator and loves creating video, and is all because of a Facebook video that got shared on my Facebook feed last spring from a soccer video that he created. And I kept an eye on it, and now it could turn into a little internship for him, and taking advantage of those opportunities and networking. And so we want to try to figure out how we can bottle that up and share that with all of our Strive schools, and create this StrivU Innovations entrepreneurship using social media kind of class. And I don't know how it's going to look, or if there's a curriculum. I've got lots of different ideas. So this is a kind of a call out, shout out video to get your feedback. Is this something you would be interested in next fall, to get a group of kids? Could it be integrated into a class you already have around digital media? Or is this a new class? Do you have a business class of students that want to do that? And we just want to be a resource and help you connect with folks that we're meeting in Lincoln, that Sarah's helping do tours with, like Arch Rival and Huddle, Storyhook. Like, there's just so many companies. There's so many neat things going on. Create 308 in Grand Highland, which Ben and Heather are a part of. And there's just a lot of neat things happening that we want to share with schools across the state of Nebraska. And we want your feedback. So, Andy, I would love your thoughts on that initial idea, or what popped in your head as you and I text back and forth crazy ideas all the time.
Crazy ideas are what steer us most of the time, I think. I think it's a great idea to start with, and where you incorporate them in school, I think that's going to be a tricky part. Here in Axtell, I think we have a unique opportunity. We're adding FFA, and so our video production teacher is going to have a few less students, at least theoretically, because there will be more kids interested in taking the FFA route, and they
Right.
have a crazy schedule that they're promoting. So
Okay.
having the opportunity for kids to slip into the video production and stem from this idea, or tie in the business class who could
Come around here.
probably use some extra pointers on the next level thinking or the application process. I think it's
Yeah.
a great start.
That's the key is applying it, and they're going to be more engaged in creating a video if it's something that they're passionate about, like promoting
Absolutely.
something like their lawn mowing business, something like that, instead of creating something for the school that they're just like, this seems like an assignment. That's where my mind is kind of going, and reading some stuff that Don Wettrick's doing, and just they're going to be more engaged and more all in if they have some ownership around it. So go ahead, Heather.
I was just going to make a comment on it. We were just having some conversations. Just it's that time of year where you're looking at course schedules and kids' schedules are full. And whether it's integrated with something during the day or not, I think that this has potential for after hours.
Yeah.
We have so many kids. We were talking about internships for our kids, and that internship doesn't necessarily have to be during school hours, because they may have a full schedule, but that internship opportunity may not be possible until after school. And whether we give credit for that or not, that was the conversation. So I think this fits nicely in there too, that if they have that opportunity to do that distance learning or take care of that responsibility class, whatever it, however it looks, I think there's opportunities that it doesn't have to fit into the school day.
Right, which is tough at small schools, but like we were talking to some kids that, they're not involved in sports, and like those are the type of characteristics we're looking for in the kids, that you can tell they don't want to be at school. Well, why don't they want to be at school? Right. And so Mike Smith, the Bay, in Lincoln, they're starting their own high school because one day he walked in and there were 50 kids skateboarding during the day, during school. And he goes, whoa, this is sweet. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh crap, why aren't they at school? And so now he's starting his own high school. It's like a group homeschool for kids. And so we're just trying to feed, resources and knowledge and just different ideas into the system now. And how can we help these kids that maybe do have a YouTube channel? You see them in school and you just can tell they're totally not engaged. Those are the kids I want to talk to. And not that I was that kid, but I had to work really hard to be an average student in high school, and even in college, it finally clicked. I was horrible at taking the ACT. Thankfully, I got into college. And so we want to talk to those kids that their mind maybe works a little bit differently. And they do have a creative side, but school just isn't giving them that. And can we provide those opportunities for those kids? Study hall periods, senior seminar type stuff. I think there's some ways to hack it inside I call it the system. So no questions. Sorry, I was waiting for, no, I'm just kidding. I think we'll end with that. Sarah and Austin are great examples of that. And I call them kids, but they are adults now. Austin, I just want to give a shout out to him. So if you guys are watching this and haven't watched A Championship Journey, at least one chapter, maybe not the whole thing, check out our YouTube channel on that for Strive Sports. And StrivSports.com. We've gotten phenomenal feedback from that film that he worked on for 2 months. And I could say on behalf of him that when he was in high school, he probably didn't think he would ever create something like that. And that just shows that, he's just continued to work, and I throw an idea out, we throw an idea out, and he executed on it. And that's the type of characteristics we're looking for in kids these days. And I've talked to Huddle, seniors, recruiter for Huddle. They're looking for kids that can communicate, take feedback, and think critically. And those aren't things that are assessed on a state test, right? And that's where we're trying to give students opportunities to have build those skills at a young age, even junior high and high school. Last thing I want to end with, and Sarah, I forgot to have you put this in the email, and he just emailed me to remind me. So I went to Doane College, and Doane is doing something really unique, something I've never heard of. So they had a student that was a videographer. I haven't heard of this at like this size of school, I should say, but like the Huskers are doing this and stuff like that. But Doane is going to be offering men's basketball team is going to be offering a scholarship, and I'm looking at Heather because she hasn't heard this yet, a scholarship to a student that wants to be their men's basketball videographer and follow the team around. They're going to offer money to a student that goes to Doane to do that. And he just emailed me and said, hey, I haven't got any interest on this. Like, they're looking for someone, and I don't know how many funds they have available, but I know that they think it's very important to be able to document their season and their games and behind the scenes type stuff at a GPAC size school at Doane, which is, I unfortunately but fortunately hired a Hastings Bronco and a Prairie Wolf. Yeah, he's wearing it, and I'm a Tiger. Oh no, you guys did not. They're both wearing their college gear. That is awesome. So that's a real thing, and that's now turning into a job. That's what Ben is doing today, is documenting my thing, and he wants to do video work for a career, and he loves photography. Like, this whole creative movement is blowing up because of social media and our phones, and it's becoming a job, and now you can get scholarships for it. So get a hold of us, get a hold of Sarah or myself. If you have a senior that is going to Doane that's looking for scholarship money or looking to go into that kind of field, we will connect you with Ryan, who's assistant basketball coach at Doane College. So shout out to them. Also, forgot we are working on a partnership of some sort with content with the UNL, College of Journalism, and John Schrader. So we're planning that out. He's hoping to be at our conference in Lincoln in late February, and we will get you guys connected with him. And he's a great resource. He's been in broadcast media in San Francisco for most of his career. Now he's come back to UNL to really build relationships with high schools, and he's going to use us. We're going to create some content that you can consume in your class from an expert that's been in the game for a long time and gets storytelling online, which is really cool to know that that's happening if you do go to UNL and College of Journalism. So I'll stop there and get a hold of us, and shout out to Pender. Pender took our challenge from last week on the Spearman project, so they will be getting a T-shirt and some Strive swag sent to them. They built an audiogram, and they posted it, tagged us on Twitter, and so you can check that out. I think we retweeted that. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Andy, Sarah, Austin. Pound it. Noggin. Dude perfect. See you guys later.